So, welcome to the TRT and Hormone Optimization YouTube channel. As guest today, we have back from Miami, the Medical Health Institute. Welcome, guys.
How are you,
How
man?
you doing?
Hi,
Doing great,
welcome
man.
back.
Thank you for having us on, man.
Always a pleasure to be back on your show.
Pleasure to have you. So, let's talk today about red light therapy. What do you guys use it for? What are the benefits and so on? You can buy my workout programs as well as other merchandise in my webshop, link in the description under this video.
Well, first of all, red light therapy, it's something that we've naturally gotten since human existed. We get it at dawn and at dusk when the sun is coming up and when it's going down. And it's usually that red spectrum light that basically that penetrates the tissues. So you have long, medium, and near infrared lights. So red light therapy or near infrared are the ones that affect the mitochondria. Like the red infrared saunas, that's more to get into the tissues to detoxify the body from toxicity. But the one that we use is the near infrared light, which is to help to produce more mitochondria. And there's studies that have been found now for anxiety and depression treatment, for athletic performance, brain and nerve health, bone and joint health, for fat and hair loss, especially if you use products, you put them on, or like I'll put a GHK copper peptide on my face and I'll stand in front of the red light for at least 3 minutes. Every protocol is different. You can have from 3 to even 20 minutes. And depending on the distance that you have from it will affect differently the mitochondria in your body. It has been shown for heart health, herpes, inflammation, immune system, oral health, pain and sleep, skin and thyroid health. So for example, there was 2 studies, a 2013 study that showed that being exposed to infrared light reduced drastically thyroid antibodies in the subjects being studied, and 47% of them were able to stop their thyroid medication. Then that was a 2013 study. Then another 2014 study showed that 247 women with subclinical hypothyroidism with just 10 red light therapy sessions, they were able to bring their TSH from 9.1 down to 2.2, which is incredible. It normalized the thyroid function in 97% of those participants. Yeah. So that is pretty good data.
Yeah, and from a practical perspective, mitochondria produce 95% of our energy, right? They're these little kind of stored energy facilities inside of every single one of our cells. So obviously, you're only a makeup, or your health is really the status of the health of your cells. So, by that line of thinking, obviously, the more that we can do to take care of our cells and our cellular energy and mitochondria, which produces the energy, is a good thing, right? And red light therapy has unequivocally shown to improve these things. So, because the data can get, it's wide. And, a lot of times when you talk about red light therapy, especially in a conservative or traditional setting, it's kind of like, guys with tinfoil hats, right? It's like snake oil stuff, but it has definitely shown to improve these markers. And just from a practical and kind of common sense standpoint, it's good to take care of these power energy sources in our cells.
Mm-hmm. And as you were saying, 95% of our energy is produced from mitochondria, yet it comprises about 10% of our body weight. Yeah. And it's estimated, the jury's out, that for every cell you have anywhere from 100 to 2,000 mitochondria. The heart is the one that has the highest content of mitochondria, which is around roughly 5,000. So it is powerful. And if you notice, a lot of studies now for longevity are inclining a lot more to, hey, fixing the mitochondria function in your body, because the better your mitochondria function, the slower you age. So anything that has to do with longevity and that can improve my mitochondria, we're going to be on top of.
Yeah. And from us, and you're optimized as well. So sometimes these little tiny changes are hard to tell, right? I can tell you just from practical application, just standing in front of it for 7 to 9 minutes is kind of anxiolytic. Like, it's very relaxing. And I feel good doing it. So,
yeah. So one of the things I like using it most for that I have to be honest, I haven't had enough exposure to really see the difference, but the studies are strong on primary and secondary damage to the muscle. So primary damage is the physical damage you do to your body mechanically when you exercise. Secondary damage is inflammatory response to that mechanical stress. So if you expose yourself to the red light 60 minutes prior to training, it actually improves your primary and secondary damage to the muscle to reduce the inflammatory response, meaning for recovery, it could be phenomenal for professional athletes, that every fraction of a second counts and every part of the recovery is just as important, because most people think about just training. They don't realize that the rest and recovery is 10 times more powerful. Yeah. So the data is really good for that. And if you use it after working out, it's only gonna stimulate the secondary damage to the muscle, which is the inflammatory response.
Even for oral health, right? So, there's, when you go out into the sun, you're not like peeling your teeth. So we don't get a lot of red light to our gums, and, oral health, specifically me, I've suffered from periodontitis disease. We were talking about it before the show. It's in, not gut health, oral health. People, they take it for granted, but your teeth are connected to most of your major organs. So, having good oral health and doing red light therapy on your teeth is also super beneficial.
We would recommend, if you really want to, what he said is so true. I didn't value my oral health as much as I watched
until you lose it, until you lose a tooth.
The documentary by David Mankoff, The Root Cause, that he goes into how your mouth is connected to everything. And I just have a whole different perspective on my mouth. And if you guys don't take care of your mouth as well, go watch The Root Cause.
And it's hard to find a dentist that kind of aligns with the science on this, because, we're so focused on aesthetics, right? So when you have, like, for example, something like a root canal, most people try to save the tooth without realizing that tooth forever stays in your system, pulsating toxic substances into your bloodstream, which could very easily end up in a stroke and a heart attack. And people fail to realize that. So it's hard to align with a dentist that is like that, but I recommend that you do, because I personally lived through that experience. And, modern science can detect some of these infections. For me personally, I had an infection for years that was so bad that chewed through my sinus. And it's a very, very serious thing. So when it comes to oral health, doing red light therapy, I have one of those devices that you put in like a mouth guard, and it's good for protection against, obviously all these environmental toxins that we're dealing with that cause these infections.
Going to look into that. Thanks a lot.
Do you use red light?
No, I have no experience at all with it.
Yeah, it's definitely the new thing on the block, but there's a lot of research behind it. Yeah. I'll be happy to send you the research. There's tons of studies on it. Okay. So I'm playing it just kind of like you. You're new to it. We're new. I'm playing with it a lot. I'm actually printing out all the protocols, and we're going to put it on a frame. So I don't have to be opening. I can just look, okay, depending on how I feel, what I'm trying to do, apply that protocol and see how it works.
Yeah. Feel free to send me some stuff. Yeah,
I will.
This video is sponsored by Mizumi, the #1 pick for men on TRT. Shop now at Mizumi's using the link in the description under this video.